Hello, Chain Gang, and welcome back to the Four Chains Travel and the World Series of Poker main event in Las Vegas, Nevada. Today is going to be a very different World Series of Poker than we've ever showed you or anybody's ever showed you, because we're going to show you both what happens during a day one, but also show you everything that leads up to that so you can understand the experience of the main event. And because of last year, of course, the cameras are following our registration process, but it's much simpler this year. You don't have to wait in line to pay for any of the tournaments. You just have to get in this line to confirm your identity for security purposes, and it's even shorter if you are in the VIP
today?
line.
Good, how are you? Not bad.
Here it is. Here it is. Oh my God. Oh, so nervous.
The truth is, Phil Ivey hadn't started playing yet, so everybody on my day was hoping they wouldn't be at Phil Ivey's table, and thank goodness I wasn't. You look at the app, you see who you're playing against that day, and then you walk in the room and you gotta hope that you're making history. In this case, we're watching with our award winner for posting the most comments, and so we paid for his main event, and boy, when you look at the TV room and all the people there, you think you have a chance to make history.
Jesse, you ready?
I'm ready. So why are we doing the intro today as opposed to tomorrow when we're playing tomorrow?
Okay, so if you watched last year's, I did a video in the morning before he started playing every time, and Jesse has seen those and commented those, and that's why he's here today, won the prize for the most comments, and so we're putting him in the main event. But last year was a little bit different. This year with the WSOP Plus app, you never have to stay in line. You've already done it. You got your ticket, right?
Got my ticket,
so
no problem.
He's got his ticket, I've got my ticket, but you don't wake up in the morning and find out who's at your table. It might only be an hour ahead of time. So an hour ahead, when we normally be filming this, I want to be looking at who we are going against. So after this intro, you're going to see us talking about that before the play. But, well, you know, Jesse's asking for advice. This is first time playing, and it's my fourth. And the most important thing that I told him that you guys have never seen on me say on camera, although you've gotten the gist of it, is you need two things. If you're going to beat this field, honey, you want to show, if you're going to knock out, and all you have to do is, you see the people that are here, be the last one standing when all of these people are gone. So that doesn't sound like a problem, does it?
It's not a big hurdle.
Yeah, well, that's a cash game over there, so those don't count. Yeah, there is another room where people are, the TV room. So you need two things. You need a dedication and an inspiration. And if you watch my videos last year, I dedicated it to my mom. 2 years ago, I didn't play the main event because my mom was terminally ill, and Angie behind the camera there and myself, we needed to take some time to take care of that, be the man, the family person you need to be. I don't have to tell you anything about that. And she, so I couldn't play, but she insisted that I play the following year, and she did pass before the main event. And she was who I dedicated to. And my inspiration was actually you guys, my family, my friends, people on YouTube rooting me on like Jesse. And so that was very important. This year is a little bit different. I am dedicating this to my sister Dorothy. Now, Dorothy was one of the 50 most fascinating people in America, according to People magazine, the cover that Princess Diana was on, because she supposedly had inoperable cancer and she was still alive and no doctors could explain it, and so that's why we gave her the nickname the Shark. So when you see the shark that's holding my cards, it's because sharks have never lost to cancer, and Dorothy never loses to cancer, and it's coming back stage 4 right now as we speak like crazy, but this is the break. Oh, film this, because this is important to know. This is the race for the PP, and the reason why I've never filmed this is because I am going PP every time this happens, because it is just a mad rush. You want to get that PP in before the line gets big, and then you want to get back. So he's announcing when you have to be back. The real thickness is going to be up there by the door. It's sort of like a concert letting out, as you can see there.
But you don't want to be last in that line.
You do not want to be last in that line.
Or you'll be doing the pee-pee dance along.
That's right. I think Daniel has that.
Or someone else is going to
copyrighted.
be, they're going to be playing without you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you guys were my inspiration. This year, Dorothy is my dedication. And my inspiration is Dennis Tran, 4-time world's fastest pizza maker. And the reason why is because we joke about the amount of people here that we have to beat. You can't think about the odds that are against you. You just have to think about what you have to do to beat the odds. And Dennis is the king of that. He doesn't think, there's 10,000 people that want to be the world's fastest pizza maker. I want to be. And he's won it 4 times. And the only reason he didn't win it 4 times is when he was very, very young, when we first got to know him, he was competing against Wahid Hassim, 7-time champ, Mustafa Habib, 2-time champ. So he was losing against the GOATs. And then he just got good enough. So he's my inspiration. So Jesse, you've had a day to think about it. Who are you dedicating this to? Who's your inspiration for this tournament?
Well, I'm going to dedicate it to my wife of 38 years. She battled ovarian cancer for 2.5 years. She was fighting real hard and strong for our 11-year-old daughter, but she passed away in March. So I'll be dedicating it to her. And my inspiration is my daughter Elizabeth. She's known affectionately as Lizzie Love. She came along a little late in our lives, Lori and I's. She came along when my wife was 48. She got pregnant.
Wow.
So Lizzie Love will be my inspiration during this time.
And that is exactly how you do it, folks. So if you start freaking out, you can see Angie getting all teary-eyed. I ain't doing that. That's another reason why we're doing this today, because I didn't want to get teary-eyed. But, if you're shocked that Jesse does better than you think he should do by the odds, rewind it to here. Because when you have a dedication and inspiration, I just love you, buddy. Let's crush this tomorrow.
Okay.
This isn't that
Let's
many
do
people. Okay, the coincidences just keep adding up today. First of all the rooms, Jesse and I are in the same room. Woo! We're within a football throw of each other, which is really great. And then the other thing is, after we taped that intro yesterday, we realized I'm dedicating it to Dorothy, and my sister Dorothy's birthday is the final day of the main event, which is just insane. And then when I told you that, what did you tell me?
My wife's birthday is the day after the main event, so on the 17th. So hopefully we'll both be celebrating.
And she's going to be watching every single minute of this, buddy. So
she is. We
got 7 minutes till shuffle up and deal, so we're going to go hit the tables, and good luck us, baby.
Thank you, everybody. Now it is time to get down to business. I want to wish everyone the best of luck in today's WSOP main event and over the next 10 or so days as you play all the way down to a champion. It won't be easy, but I know you're going to have a great time and you're going to try your best to get there. So I can't wait to see who wins the bracelet this year. Best of luck to all players in the field today. And with that, dealers, please shuffle up and deal!
Okay, so last year we went 5 days and never had a teammate. But today we got Jay, so we're going to be playing. You're going to see us both on this video at the end of the day, am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, good luck, buddy. All right, let's crush it. Okay, so you just come in here with your GG app. You hit my profile, and then this thing comes in, and you sign it, you say hello, and then you come in here and you do your hand recap. Let's go. Honestly, I think the GG app pays for itself out of coffee because of how expensive coffee is. And this is probably, $12, something like that. It's ridiculous around here. All right, let's do some hand recaps. Okay, with blinds at 100, 200, that's the first level. I have Ace of Hearts, King of Diamonds. I am under the gun. I raise it to 500. A lot of people min raise, but that's not what I like to do. The button calls and the big blind calls. The flop comes Queen of Hearts, Jack of Hearts, 3 of Spades. the big blind checks. I bet 900. The button calls and the big blind folds. So I have to think to myself, what does he call here with? He could obviously have a queen. He could have a jack. He could have a straight draw. He could have a flush draw. All of those things have me in a lot of trouble, but none of those things are devastating. Then the turn is another 3 of diamonds. Now, I'm not worried about a 3 and him having, he wouldn't have a naked 3 because he's not going to call with 3x of anything, I wouldn't think, unless it's ace 3 suited. So I'm not worried about pocket 3s because if he would have had a set, he would have raised. So I don't think that 3 on the board hurts me. I actually think that it helps me. I bet 1,500, and I guess I should have bet 2,000 because all I have is really ace high here, and I want him to fold. But I was tired. I bet 1,500, and he calls. So the fact that he called and didn't raise further convinces me I'm right about no 3 situation. I'm assuming he's on a spade draw or a flush draw, maybe a queen or a jack. The river's a 5 of clubs, so now I have ace high. I can't win on showdown unless he has a draw that he didn't hit, and in that case, he might raise. So I have to decide whether I can get them off a queen or a jack. The fact that he hem and hawed a lot about calling the 1,500 made me think that I could. So I bet 5,000. He folds. Now, should I have bet more? Obviously, in retrospect, I did the best, but later on, what happened that made me think he might have had a queen or a jack is there was a hand where he had top set, and on the river, there was the only thing that could beat him was a king jack for runner straight, and the guy raised and he folded the second nuts top set of queens, and it would have made no sense the way the hand played out that king jack would have even gotten to the river. So I feel like maybe I got him off of queen jack in that situation. My point here is that it was a bluff, but it wasn't a random bluff. Like, I think most people make a mistake of just bluffing when they realize they can't win at showdown, so they bluff. Well, your story has to make sense. There has to be a reason for them to fold, and if there's no reason for them to fold, they're not going to. I felt like I had sussed it out and I could get them to fold, so I did. So it wasn't random. There was logic here. Jesse had to lay down queens, unfortunately, but Jesse, you're still over 50, right?
Yeah, I'm at 55.8 right now.
Nice.
I just talked to Jesse, and this is another example of I feel better about my chances of getting that person fold. Day one, particularly when there's so many recreational players, people overfold in the main event. So here's the story of Jesse, and understandably, like, if Jesse bags, this is a huge accomplishment, and I definitely want that for him. But this is a situation where he is in the hijack. It's folded to him, and he has queens. The blinds are 100, 200. He bets 500, and then the big blind raises to 3,500. And Jesse folds queens, and he thought it was just like a no-brainer to fold queens there, when in fact, the only hands he's worried about are ace, king, and kings. The only thing he's flipping with is ace, king. That is definitely a situation where maybe you're not happy with calling all that, but you have to make the call in that situation, and these are situations that you need to look at as an opportunity to take advantage of.
Okay, 76,000 as my WSOP Plus app lets you know. So Jay's playing well, but I'm destroying him. I have about 500 more chips than he does. So he's never going to be able to come back from that deficit, I'm guessing. No chance.
I think I'm just going to shove the next one.
Yeah, you're going to have to. This is level 2, and I'm giving you the story of the only hand that I had in the first 3 levels that was better than top pair. Top pair was the best I had. I had no flushes. I had no sets. It was the only hand I had better than that, and I'm going to tell you how it played out. I have king 10 of clubs. The blinds are 200 and 300. I bet 800. I get 2 callers. The flop comes Jack of Hearts, Ace of Hearts, 2 of Diamonds. I've got nothing there except for a straight draw, so I check. It's checked all around, thank goodness. Then the turn comes the Queen of Spades. I bet. I get 1 caller and another fold, because now I have a straight, obviously. So the question is, what would somebody call me with? I'm not really sure there. The river's a 2 of hearts, so that puts the possibility of a boat out there. There's no flush out there, so I could be losing to a boat, but can't be scared of monsters under the bed, so I bet. There is a raise, there is a re-raise, and then I call because I'm like, if he has a boat, he has a boat, and he also had King 10, so we split the straight. So at this point, at the dinner break, I was feeling like lucky to be alive because I just didn't have any cards except for that, and it split. If it's not hand breakdown here, blinds at 200, 400. I want you to put in the comments. This is the one hand that I want you guys to comment on. I want you to comment on whether I'm too nitty. And I will tell you the results of the hand at the end, but what I'd like you to get ready to do is to pause it and comment before you see the results, because as always I'm preaching, do not play results. You do not play results. It folds to me. I'm on the hijack. I have Ace 9 of Hearts. I raise it to 1,000, and only the big blind calls. Now the big blind is a man in his 60s, has been playing poker a very long time, has a ton of experience, but is tight, as people my age and above tend to be. The flop comes King of Hearts, 9 of Diamonds, 4 of Diamonds. So I have second pair, and I have a backdoor nut flush draw. So I bet 1,500, and he raises to 5,000. So this is where I want you to comment on what you would have done. I really go into the tank, and I'll just explain my thinking at the time. Do I take another card if there is an ace or a 9 or another heart? Then I've got something, and if there isn't, I just give up. Is it worth the extra 3,500 to do that? So that's really the question that you want to say. I know the solvers say yes, but this is the real world. I just went over his behavior. I've been playing for 5 hours with him. He was there at the beginning of the day. He had not 3-bet once. He had not re-raised once. So I know that he has something really, really good. So what could he possibly have? He could theoretically have a diamond draw, but I just don't see that from this guy unless it was specifically the ace king of diamonds. So he has top pair plus the nut flush draw. That would make sense. Pocket 9s would make sense. Pocket kings would make sense. I think those are really the only 3 hands he could have because he just hasn't been bluffing. And the question is, what would I be good at? Now, if he's on a diamond draw and he has top pair, I beat him if I get a 9 or an ace. And obviously, runner of hearts, I beat him. Is there a question that you can get that? I don't know. I really tanked for a long time, and then I folded, and I felt really nitty. So pause the camera right now. Not you. Sorry, I thought Angie was reaching to pause it. Pause your computer right now if you want to tell me whether it was too nitty for me to fold in that situation. I will tell you what it is, but as I said, he did wind up having pocket king. So even a 9 would have gotten me in enormous trouble, and really I was dead to runner heart. So, but that doesn't mean that I made the right move. Solver says I should call and see another card. You let me know what you would have actually done in this situation.
Okay, I have 83,000, but I'm entering the end of the night where there's always the danger of losing a big chunk of it.
Okay, first round after the dinner break, 2 recreational players who have been eliminated have been replaced by 2 pros at this point. So we essentially have 3 pros at the table. The blinds are 300, 500. I am in the big blind with 5-4 of hearts.
This is interesting. Under the gun raises to 1,300. Blinds are 300, 500. And under the gun +1 calls. Now, this indicates very strong hands. Under the gun raising is usually almost always strong. Under the gun +1 calling that raise, that also means very strong. And I have 5-4 of hearts in the big blind. I'm aware that I have the third best hand, but I only have to pay 800 to see a pot that already has 3,400 in it. So I call just because of implied odds. And the flop comes 5 of diamonds, 5 of spades, king of hearts. So I've got trips, I have a backdoor flush draw, I'm almost certainly ahead because they're probably looking at Broadway cards or high pairs. So should be a great situation. When you have pros at your table and you're not a pro, you need to get the most out of your big hands. Let's see what happens here. I check, under the gun checks, and under the gun bets 1,000. Very small bet. I wind up just calling, and under the gun folds. Obviously, I hope that I am against a pair of kings. That would be the best case scenario for me. The turn is an 8 of clubs. I check, and then the pro checks it back, so I realize I'm probably not getting any more money unless the river hits him, and the river is a 4. That gives me a full house. I try to kind of table talk him into calling, but he just smiled at me. He's a pro, and he was basically indicating he's not dumb. And I bet 2,000. He folds. Such is life. I don't know how I could have played that and gotten any more money out of him. You let me know. I have a hand where I could put it on there, but it's just gonna... Basically, I had king jack with the jack of clubs. 3 clubs come on the flop. The way the betting went, I should have known that he had a very high flush already. He bet, I called. I should have been out of there, but on the last hand of the night, keep in mind, it's midnight. I'm very tired. I just called. Then I turn a jack high flush. Yay! I should have realized that was nothing. He checks. I check back. That's the only good thing I did. And then the river, he bets, and I should have laid it down. This was the Vanderlei Silva character at my table, and so I called and just, he beat me, and that was stupid. Now, what most YouTubers do on hand recaps is they explain their decisions in a way that they weren't thinking at the time, that kind of justifies it and doesn't make me look dumb. But believe me, if you were there, you would have known he had me beat and you wouldn't have done that. So we're going to skip ahead to the last hand of the night, and I'm going to take the suspense out and tell you that this was a bad move for me, even though it was probably a good move on paper. It's a bad move because it is the final hand of the night. Most of the tables have already finished. In fact, when they announced there are 4 hands left to play, before we finished the first of those 4 hands, there were people that were already calling for bags. So we are really getting impatient. Nobody is going to bluff on the final hand of the night because they want to go home. So they go back to their hotel. They're dying to. In fact, as this hand played out, everybody in the table was already gone by the end of the hand, except me and the person playing this. She was in early position. She is by far the tightest, most conservative person at the table, and she's feeling very physically ill. So she raises. From under the gun, I call from the hijack, and I have pocket 9s. I didn't raise. That's the one thing I did, I guess, that was good, because earlier in that situation I raised and got a fold. I wouldn't have gotten a fold in this case. The flop comes ace, 8, deuce. She bets. She would only bet if she hit this. So she must have the ace. It's the only thing that makes sense, but she bet a small amount. The solvers tell me to call. I had second pair. I called. And then she bet on the turn.
I also called. I still didn't realize I was beat. And then on the river, astonishingly, she must have thought maybe I have a set because I've called her turn bet and her flop bet. So she checks, I check back. Of course, she has ace king, and I lose chips, and that leads us to the end of the night.
Rough last level. I lost with a jack high club flush to Vanderlei Silva over here. He had king. You had the king high flush, right? He had the king high flush. High of 89. We're down to 67,000. 10,000 more than last year exactly. Here we go. Bagging. Fourth consecutive main event. Okay, I have a day off. I'd like to thank ggpoker, and I'd like to thank you guys. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so, and we will see you in 2 days with day 2 at the main event of the World Series of Poker.